All right. What's up, Nate? Nate Doggy
What's
Dog. I
up,
like that. You
Scott?
changed your name.
Yeah,
Not much. I see
try to see if I can be
we
creative.
I know. We got a special guest, huh?
That's right. It's her.
Yep. Good,
This is
good old
my ever
Allison
so
joined us.
enthusiastic love of my life, Allison.
Because
Hello.
We've
she's
been
looking
married
forward to the week
for,
three pick 'em.
that's right. She's been dying to get some football picks in. So
I
we've been
have
married
been.
for a little over 10 years, and she's all about college football. She's an encyclopedia of information, let me tell you.
Well, at least she cheers for the correct team, so. So
Yeah, I got to remind her which team that is sometimes, but you're right.
I always say to people, I'm K-State by marriage. I'm a K-Stater by marriage.
And that's acceptable.
Okay.
No one's going to hate on
Like
you
I
for
did
that.
not attend the college, but
Hey, you're more honest about that than the fans of a few other colleges that Scott and I could list.
yes.
They're diehard fans of the T-shirts, and you'd think that they had every degree that the university offered, yet they've never been to the town that the college
Would that
is
happen
in.
to
So
be
I
like
appreciate the candor and the
would that happen to be like a school with a big red N on it? Hmm. It's doing awesome right now.
well, that would be one of them. I was thinking, yeah, no kidding. I was thinking about a school that's a little bit closer to home.
Yeah.
First initial K and last initial U. But anyways,
Cool. All right.
as your cousin pointed out, I am a degree holding person from both institutions. So,
Yep.
anyways,
Life,
moving on.
life could be worse. All right. What's our intro topic tonight? Where in the world is Nathan? Or where in the world was Nathan?
Yeah, so that's right. So we were going to plan on doing the recording on Tuesday the 12th, and I think we had a couple of hiccups that prevented us from doing that. And at the time, I was in a beautiful Hampton Inn in Paris, Texas, traveling for work, and so that would have been fantastic. They actually have a miniature version of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, Texas. It's got a big red cowboy hat that sits on top of it.
I was
how
going to
big is
ask,
it?
what are
It's
they?
about 25 feet.
What interesting thing is there? And I guess you just said it. So,
Yeah, it's it's a smaller town. I mean, it's comparable to like a Manhattan, Kansas in size.
And I just found out that my mom moved there when she was 20
Really?
with her cousin.
Wow.
Yes.
interesting.
So
She moved
raining
there.
back
Why did she move there?
just to,
Just to get out of
yeah, small town job.
get away from Joplin, Missouri,
Yep.
Um,
go
so
to the big city of Paris, Texas.
where is Paris? Like what big city is it near? Or what's the closest, I guess?
It's close to Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a couple hours northeast of Dallas. It's really really close to the border of Oklahoma.
I mean, Texas is big, so it could also not be close to anything. So,
True. Yeah, no, it's a solid 2 hour drive. Have you ever been to a Bucky's?
no,
Have
but
you
they
ever
have
heard of
one over
Bucky's?
yes, they're about to build one about 15 minutes from us. So
Are they? Okay.
yes.
There's I stopped at a Bucky's on my way there because I needed to use the restroom and I was hungry. And I stopped at a different Bucky's on the way back from Paris to Dallas because I needed to get gas. And they're quite sizable.
Yes.
I'm not really the type of person to be um,
Oh,
that enthusiastic about a gas station, but Bucky's is something different.
looks like their headquarters is actually in Texas. That's probably why it says
Yeah, they're from Houston.
yeah.
Yeah, they're from the Houston area.
Yeah, it says like Pearland, Texas, if this is
It's funny.
correct.
Yeah, I've been to the original. It's like a tenth of the size of almost all the others. Around Houston, there's some that are quite a little bit smaller, than the big ones, because I think slowly over time they took a regular gas station and built into a bigger gas station, and then built into gigantic gas stations.
The super center.
Have you ever, Allison? Have you ever been to one?
It,
Neither have I, but
No, but I hear about them quite often.
yes, we pass them here, and everybody talks about them. And they're
I'm telling you,
no,
it's
almost like people take a day trip just to go to Buc-ee's.
it's a sight. Almost every time, I guess I've been to one, you can tell that there are people in the one that you're in that have never been to one before, and they're like shocked at how big it is, because it's like how big. I mean, I don't even know how many square feet it is, but it's massive.
Huh. Yeah, I'll have to.
The bathroom, the men's room has like 24 urinals and probably a dozen stalls.
Damn.
And it's all tile, floor to ceiling tile everywhere, and they're super clean. And
do they sell gas?
They have like
Yes.
55 pumps at every one of them, and they've got like the world's, or at least America's, biggest car wash.
Okay.
They're huge.
Who would have thought on this podcast we'd be talking about urinals and restrooms?
I'm trying to get us some
Yeah.
sponsorship. You know,
Buc-ee's,
In
if
fact-
you're listening, come sponsor us.
That would
In
be a good
fact-
sponsor.
Buc-ee's, where you can get
Nice.
some sweet and dried mango slices.
Awesome.
Um,
Cool. Well,
Sir,
I guess let's get
Beaver.
those look good. We like mango slices too. We get the ones from Target.
Yeah,
Well-
these are covered in sugar, so those
they
are the
add
difference.
sugar to them.
Yeah,
Well,
we get the
Thanks for destroying our sponsorship. Scott, cut that part out.
no, we're keeping that in.
It says on the bag, sweetened.
Sweetened. Maybe they have unsweetened.
Yeah.
We get the unsweetened, well, not the unsweetened, but naturally sweetened ones from Target, which are pretty good if you want some. So that camera is driving me up the wall. But anyways,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. Should we get back on track here? Or keep going?
That implies we were ever on track to
I don't know if
begin
we
with,
really
but
have
yeah,
a track to this podcast. But whatever. It's more for fun.
You shouldn't eat on while you're hosting a podcast.
I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's
I
establish
don't
some
think
rules.
You should eat.
I'm not going to
Comment
eat
below.
like every time. I'm just going to take a bite.
If you're watching this podcast, comment
But-
below if you should eat on a podcast or not.
Yeah. Is this proper etiquette?
It is not.
Mm.
Not unless you guys are discussing like, oh, I guess if it's pumpkin beer, then we should have a bunch of pumpkin beer out.
Oh yeah, we need to do that next time.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of that, why don't you go into that topic, Nate? Since you like beer better than me, and then I'll kind of talk about the pumpkin stuff we like.
Well, I won True Love here every year about this time.
I thought I was your first true love.
First True Love, one
Careful.
True Love. My current wife, however you want to term it. She's a big fan of the pumpkin beers. And by about the end of October, you're kind of over them though, right?
It's 1 month of the year.
It's like around whenever they first start coming out until probably the middle of October, I'd say. And then by that point, kind of over it. But I just thought we'd talk about some pumpkin beers. Is there any particular type of pumpkin beer that, like Sam Adams, I know puts one out?
I do enjoy the Sam Adams beer, but
Is there any other pumpkin beers that stand out to you?
well, you've just tried that Ellipsium variety pack.
Yeah.
What about
These all are very
what about like we were at a general store this week, and kind of a well-known one out in the middle of the country here, but they had a bunch of pumpkin stuff there. But what about a pumpkin sour? Have you ever had a good one of those?
oh, I haven't.
What's a
That sounds
pumpkin
interesting.
sour?
More
They seem
kind of
it's
more
like-
like a sour beer. Like some of them can kind of
Like-
be Some of them have flavor, some of them don't, but like we like sweeter drinks, obviously. That's why we go for like the pumpkin ciders.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking. Because every once in a while we try the beer if we know it's not as paley or whatever, like a dark beer. So
When
that's
we lived in Denver, um, this place next to us, that's all they sold were sours. It was interesting.
Where was that?
In Denver, it was right. It's like that open market place, and they had
The
like
Source?
that brew, yeah, and they had the sour
Is that all they had?
sours.
we didn't see that when we were there.
They're pretty good.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, we usually get, like I said, like ciders. We were at the general store and we found Doc's pumpkin cider, which I think we had last year, and it was pretty good. So we picked up another one, and then this isn't really a pumpkin one, but we found one that said it was like a cider donut, so, so like donut flavor. So that'll be interesting to try that one. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that, and see if we come across any. But yeah, like you, like Kindle loves pumpkin season, Allison, and then so we'll anything pumpkin that we think is going to taste good. There's some stuff we stay with. Um, we will we'll buy that. So if we see any other ciders, we might try them. But speaking of that, we like pumpkin Oreos. I don't know if you tried those, but
We had not.
You know, I like a lot of pumpkin spice stuff. I know a lot of people turn their nose up at it. And it's one of those things where it's only really around for a couple months and then it's gone. That it's about the perfect amount of time to, I mean, if you don't go crazy and eat and drink pumpkin beer and pumpkin coffee and pumpkin Oreos and pumpkin whatever all the time, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
yep.
That's
Speaking
why
of,
there was a couple in that mix that didn't have a lot of pumpkin flavor to them. So
is there
Go
a
ahead.
certain place you go back there to get pumpkin beer or anything?
It's kind of a hit or miss. Like I just randomly come across like at the liquor stores.
Yeah, that's kind of the way
come
we
across
are.
the pack.
Like we were gonna get Kindle likes lavender too. We were gonna get it, but then went to ring it up. It was $10 a bottle. It's like holy cow. So, but then we found a place. There's a place in Durham, like one of them
Lavender.
yeah. So there was this place in Durham where there's a tap room. So we're gonna go try it there where you can sample a bunch of different beers up to a certain cost or something. So but yeah, that's why I was asking.
you need to get yourself a growler.
Yeah.
Do you have a growler?
No, but there's actually
There you
two
go. I'd show you my stuff in my office.
there's two cider places.
Oh no.
There's
there.
one in Greensboro and one in Durham where we can get a growler and get it refilled. So we'll do that sometimes. So cool.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next?
I've got a nice growler that I got as an example.
What's that?
Sorry, I was just saying I've got kind of a cool growler I've got a pretty cool growler I got as a sample from a vendor on one of the projects that I was on. But I don't think I've ever used it.
Huh.
I'm almost positive I've never used it and just don't ever think about it. So anyways, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
So I had kind of a thought at some point this week, and I thought it might be something kind of interesting just to see what your take is, especially you since you've been so close to sports and over the years, being working for some different pro and college teams. What do you think? Is it better to be at the game, or is it better to watch it on TV?
Man, I think obviously this is gonna be different for everybody, but I think sometimes it depends on the venue and the situation, and also kind of where you might be sitting. Like me personally, if I'm going to be way in the upper deck at a game, I'm probably not going to. Yeah, I went more when I was younger, but nowadays I probably wouldn't go as much because you can see better on TV, but I do enjoy the big game atmosphere still, and I don't mind like going to a baseball game because baseball games you get to sit down, kind of hang out with your buddies, and have a few drinks or some food. Football, it seems like you're constantly standing up, so it kind of just depends on what you want and what you're expecting. I do miss being on the field for big games, whether it be a bowl game, a championship, a conference, or a national championship type of game, whether it being on the court or something like that. But so yeah, I think it just for me it kind of depends on the atmosphere you're going to be in and who's playing and what kind of the stakes are for the game. Good example, when I was still in college athletics, it was the year after LSU won the national championship. They played at Georgia. This was when I was still down at Tulane, but we had a friend that worked for Georgia football, so we went to watch Georgia LSU play that year in Athens, Georgia, and I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. It was a blast. I don't remember where our seats were; they weren't way high up, but they were decent seats. But that atmosphere was cool. Just seeing a new place, seeing Georgia football. So something like that, I think that was worth going. It was a first time experience. It was just cool to see. I like college football, and I think college football atmospheres are better than pros, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I
So
agree.
yeah, I think it just kind of depends on where you're going, what the stakes are for the game. If both teams are 1-10, it's probably not worth going, in my opinion. But if both teams are 10-0 and you're playing for a conference championship, then it might be worth going. So, can you see better on
Yeah.
TV? Yes, but you're not gonna get that atmosphere. So I think it's just kind of what you're looking for. What about you?
I think temperature plays a really
Yeah,
big
weather.
factor in that.
What's the right temperature for you to go to a game?
60s, 70s,
Nice. So like
not too
fall,
sunny.
late. So like a late fall,
Fall.
yeah, or like a early
Yeah.
or late spring game. Yeah, mine's probably like it is here now. Like here, it's kind of in the mid 80s this week to low 80s, and the humidity's dropped a little bit. I like warmer weather, obviously. So does kindling. But granted, I don't like both extremes over 100 or anything like that. But I'd much rather have the warm side than the cold side. I know what Nate's decision is. So.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably say I'd rather watch the game on TV, but you're right. There's definitely something about being at the game that there's no way you can replicate that at home. So it's just kind of what's your priority, I think. Are you focused on the experience and being there and seeing it and, you know, smelling it and eating it, or are you focused on the best quality view of the game, the convenience of, if you're watching at your own house, you've got your own drinks and snacks and bathroom and all of that kind of stuff. So
Right.
I'd say for me, probably most often it's the latter, to be able to watch it on TV and have the convenience of being in my own home. But there's definitely times when I really appreciate when I'm at a game and you get to experience it firsthand that
Yeah,
way.
I think a good example of that when we went to when I was back there, we went to the K-State versus Iowa State game, and it came down to the last play basically, and you knew that game
Mm-hmm.
was coming down for like the championship type of game, and then also like the year we went to go see UCLA, and you don't get to see that very often. UCLA doesn't play a Kansas team very often, so to me
Right.
those are worth it. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes that TV experience is just okay, cool, let's watch it on the couch. It's going to be super cold or super hot out.
Yeah.
uh, or even like a good
Speaking of that,
good.
I was thinking today, because K State is going to Missouri on Saturday this week to play, and I was thinking about I think it was 2001 when Missouri came to Manhattan and we played them, and it was cold and rainy, and you know, I spent half the game with one of our roommates before he left at halftime, and I spent the second half of the game with your dad, who
Mhm.
was telling me the whole time to go buy a poncho. And we spent, after the game was over and after you got done doing all your equipment duties, we spent the entire rest of the day just laying on on the two couches that we had in the living room with blankets and just watching college football. So that's like the most ideal day, really, because I was at one game and we won, and it felt like we won pretty convincingly. I don't know what the score is, and then spent the rest of the day just nice and cozy on the couch watching other games. So
Yep. We were talking about
I would say that's probably.
yeah, we were talking similar to that about that at work this week because we got a 6 o'clock game this week that we got to work, so it's gonna be like an 18-hour day. Like to me, the ideal start time is an 11 to 1 o'clock game because kind of like you just said, you can go to the game, come home, catch the ending of a late afternoon game, and then catch the night games. When you get
Yeah.
a night game, if you're working it, you're kind of stuck all day, and if you're going to the game, you're really not watching much either, unless you got a TV with you at a tailgate or you're listening to it on the radio. So, I'd much rather have an earlier game, just so you have the rest of the day after that to do whatever and enjoy it. So, but if you're watching this, comment. What do you like, in person or on TV better?
Right. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button
That's right.
and the like button.
Oh, I was supposed to say that, right?
That's right.
The guest is.
You can say that in the
Right.
end. You can say that in the end, Allison.
We'll give the opportunity.
All right.
Cool. All right.
All
So
right.
we got next.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah. So our week 2 results, how did we do? So for everyone who watched us with our picks, we summed up week 1, and I was 1 game better record than Scott. And after week 2, Scott and I are now in a dead heat. We are tied. We are both 32-8 overall with the games that we've picked. And then if you take our guest picks from weeks 1 and week 2, we're killing the guests, Scott. We're not going to get anybody to want to join us again because they are not college football fans by what I'm seeing here. So with Nick and Phil put together, they've got a combined record of 23-17. Phil went 7-9 last week. I went 10-6, and you went 11-5.
Cool. Well, hey, at least the guests are still on the they picked more right than wrong.
That's true. That's true. So we'll
Cool.
keep we'll keep doing some picks. I figure what we do is just see at the end of the season how we do compared to all of our guests and their combined score. With the very low standard that's been set in week 1 and 2, I think that you and I are probably going to cruise.
No pressure.
Yeah, watch Allison do the best.
She'll get 100% here probably. All right.
Cool.
So with that, moving on to next. So week 3. So I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games for us to choose. So we'll just go through it and do our picks real quick. I gotta move this over here so I can.
Cool. So I'll go ahead and start. So what do we got? Or you want me to go ahead or
First?
Go ahead.
Yeah, first game we've got number 15 K-State is going to Missouri. What do you got, Scott?
I've got K-State in this one. Both teams are going in 2-0 if I'm correct on this one. Obviously playing in SEC country, but I know I've been on that field. We played there back in the day. It's not easy to win there. I think we can win this game. It might be a little close, at least, for first 3 quarters or so, but I'm still gonna have to stick with the alma mater. I think, to knock on wood, I think they're playing decent especially on defense, and then once their offense gets going, they're playing pretty well right now. So I'm going with Kansas State on this one.
Fantastic. Allison?
I know better than to not say Kansas State. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with K-State.
All right.
All the reasons Scott just said.
Very good.
That's good.
I am also going to take the Wildcats. I think I don't know. This game makes me a little bit nervous because in one of the very few moments in history, everyone is picking the Wildcats. Can't say cats because Missouri's Tigers, which and K-State is favored by 5.5, I think, and the money or the money people are betting. A significant amount of people are taking K-State to cover the spread. So everything just sounds too.
Is it going to be a close game?
It's kind of one of those trap games too. Like
I mean,
it's like
I don't know.
we
It
always
wasn't.
have that
It
one
wasn't a
game we
close
struggle
game
with.
last year.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, it wasn't close last year. K-State's put away both teams that they played this year. Missouri really struggled against Middle Tennessee State. That like Alabama the week before that beat by 1,000,000 points.
This is their first away game, right?
This is K-State's first away game.
I think that energy, like, hey, this is our first away game. We got to really bring in and maybe that'll
It's the first.
get in there.
It's the first time that Missouri has sold out a game in 5 years.
Wow.
Now you could make, and it'll be interesting to see, but you can make the argument that that could very well be because there's going to be so many K-State fans there that they sold it out, and it's going to be a noticeable purple presence in the stadium.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm taking the Cats. I feel like it's going to be a tight game, but I think maybe sometime in the fourth quarter they'll break it open and win, and maybe win by a touchdown so they even cover the spread. But
You're going to miss back half of this game.
I am. We've got a
What time is it?
soccer game with Harper. It's at 1:00. The game kicks off at 11, and the soccer game is at 1. So I'm going to miss probably the whole second half or a good portion of it.
Oh,
So
well,
if we go to
I'll
the
be at
soccer
work
game
all,
and
I'll
the
be at
soccer
work all
game-
day.
But I missed a good portion of the game last year because we were at a soccer game.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
But I also got fortunate that the game last year had like a 50-minute rain delay.
Yeah.
So that was while we were playing soccer here.
You're not going to
So,
get that on time.
yeah. So I missed some of the game, but we'll see. So I'm still taking the Cats, the Wildcats. All right. Number 7, Penn State versus Illinois. And the reason I picked this is because, one, Penn State to me is a team that every year just gets kind of a default amount of respect, and I don't know that they really earn it. And the Big Ten is really a pretty weak conference, if you ask me. They've got Ohio State and Michigan are always good, and then Penn State is respectable, but I don't know that Penn State is like close to being a number 3 team. I think they're far away from number 1 and number 2, but I think they're the best of the rest. So I'm not real high on Penn State, but they're playing Illinois, who just went to Lawrence, Kansas, and got beat by KU, who I'm still kind of questionable on how good is KU going to be. So with that all being said, what do you think, Scott? Penn State or Illinois?
Man, yeah. I think Penn State's the better team. They're hyping this game up, and it's at Illinois. Of course, I've worked with Bielema before. I liked him when he was a defensive coach. I'm just going to go out on a limb here, and even though Illinois really struggled against Kansas last week, I might just go out on a limb and pick Illinois on this one. We'll see. So don't ask me why, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So
Okay.
You put Penn State down.
Well, now I think I'm going to go with Penn State because they have a number 7 in front of their name. I think that's a pretty solid choice.
That's better than some of our other guests have done.
Yeah. I think Nick's philosophy was the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Penn State. I think they'll win. It'll probably be, I don't know.
Oh, I just noticed.
My guess is, yeah.
There you go.
My guess is Penn State will win by at least 10. Illinois looked like they really struggled to score points this year. So
this is my
all
tiebreaker.
right.
If I pull this out, then I'll win the tiebreaker over you. No, just kidding.
Well, and that's another reason is if you're going to take the underdog, I almost feel like I have to take the favorite team.
Yeah.
So I can get back in the lead. All right. The next game, our gold ribbon game of the week. This is the one where not only do you have to pick the winner, but you have to try to guess what the score will be.
Oh.
And this is going to be number 8 Washington Huskies are on the road at the Michigan State Spartans, who just fired their head coach on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going
for
with
some not great allegations of sexual harassment and stuff like that.
on a speaker that he had to come in and talk to the team about sexual harassment. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out about this case.
Yeah.
Because he's saying it's a sham. So who knows? I'm going with Washington on this. I think Washington's a pretty good team. I think Michigan State's got too many distractions right now. I'm gonna go Washington. Probably 35-21.
Okay.
I am also going to choose the one with the number in front of it, Washington, and I will go 37-17.
There you go.
37. Wow. That's not a very common point total.
She's putting a safety.
Should I change it?
Hey,
Nope, stick with it.
that's right. I'd stick with it because if you change it, I guarantee Washington will score exactly 37 points. So I'm also going to take Washington, and I'm going to say they win 41-10.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Washington's pretty good.
Morale is low at Michigan State.
I think Washington is pretty good. They have a really good quarterback, and to have your coach fired middle of the week is going to be quite a
Third weekend?
quite a detriment to Michigan State. So I don't think they're going to be really ready to play a football game. And I think Washington will pile it on. All right. Next game is number 11 Tennessee at Florida. And I have to preface, and I should have started this when we kicked this off. There's not any really, really good games scheduled for this week. There's not a single top 25 team playing another top 25 team. And even after that, there's not a whole lot of great teams playing each other.
It's weird because usually you have that in the third.
Number 11.
Usually you have it in the third week, but hey, whatever.
I thought that's when things start getting interesting.
Yeah. Number 11, Tennessee at Florida.
I'm gonna go
rivalry game.
Yeah, I think Florida could maybe pull it off an upset. They really need a big time win, but I don't know. I'm kind of like what Tennessee's got going on, and I'm gonna go with Tennessee on this one.
Okay.
Go ahead and type it. You already started.
Well, who are you going to take?
The one with the number in front of it.
Okay. Which I think we should do another thing here. Ask Allison if she knows the mascots.
There you
know
go.
The mascot for Tennessee.
A Titan.
No, that's NFL.
That's the NFL.
Oh, I have no idea.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, I'm gonna guess Florida Gators.
Yep.
Very, very good. Look at you.
Dinosaurs. They live with dinosaurs somewhere.
That's right. I'm also taking Tennessee. So the game that hosts game day, and what is further evidence that game day has their heads stuck in the sand.
But this is the NFL guy that just started coaching.
Yeah, Colorado State at Colorado. And I double checked because I know there have been times in the past that they played in Denver at the Broncos instead of at each other's fields, but this is actually at Colorado in Boulder.
Who does the NFL guy coach for?
Deion Sanders is the head coach for Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado.
But they just hosted Fox's noon
Yeah.
show last week, and then game day is going there this week, and it's kind of hard with, like I said, there's not really any very good games this week, so it's kind of hard to pick, but I'm sure they could have found something better than this. But anyways, go ahead, Scott.
I hate doing this each week because I'm not a big Colorado fan just because of personal experiences in the past, but Colorado State's put out some bulletin board material this week, mostly by their head coach, and Deion, fortunately and unfortunately, he's got those guys playing well right now, and you got to give them credit. They're playing well. They have a cohesive team and a good team right now. The game's at Colorado, which isn't an easy place to play or win. So I'm going with Colorado, and unfortunately, I have a feeling I think this one might get a little out of hand. So I'm going with Colorado pretty big in this one because I think Colorado State's 0-2, aren't they? If I remember,
I don't know.
They're either 0-2 or 1-1. So
Did his son have another good game? Isn't he the quarterback?
Yeah, sure.
And that's another thing.
His quarterback for Colorado.
Son's taking the comments personal now because the head coach made comments about his dad. So I think this one's they're gonna, if they can, they'll run up that score, especially in a rivalry game.
I am also doing that one. Oh, wait. So the one with the number in front of it.
Yeah, Colorado.
That's one.
I
feel safe.
I'm gonna choose Colorado just so if they win, I don't lose position to Scott. I think.
Hey, I think I know the next mascot.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't know that I'm sold on what they got going on at Colorado yet. And I think, they play TCU, and I think there's some question marks about TCU right now. And they lost a ton of dudes from last year's team. They beat Nebraska, which that's not really saying much right now. Nebraska's pretty poor program. So I feel like it's just a matter of time before Colorado just gets spanked by somebody, but I don't think it's going to be Colorado State.
No.
All right, next game. BYU at Arkansas. What's the mascot for BYU?
Isn't it something weird, like a guy with a hat, like Buccaneers or something? Or no, it's like some weird. It's a person, right?
No,
it's a cougar.
Oh, yeah, no,
it's a cougar.
But it's the Arkansas, like the pigs, right? Yep. Some kind of hog, pig,
razorback, warthog. There you go.
The little pigs with
the Arkansas Razorbacks.
That's a pig.
Yep.
Razorback.
Razorback.
Like a shave with a razor.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with I really like Arkansas's head coach. I kind of hope he's successful there. Even though this is playing a Big 12 team. But I think I'm gonna go with Arkansas on this one.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, this one does not have a numbered team.
None of the rest of them do.
I don't know. I guess I'll go with Arkansas.
Okay.
I know nothing about them. What's their, can you give me their rank? Like, have they lost their first two? Have they won any?
I think they're one.
Who's winning? Who's losing?
Are they? I have no idea.
1-1?
I'll look right now.
Okay.
No, they're 2-0. They beat Kent State on the 9th, and then beat Western Carolina, which is not too far from me, 56-13 on the 2nd.
BYU did?
No,
Oh,
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. Okay.
What about BYU? I
BYU.
think they're undefeated.
Yeah, I think they are too.
Oh,
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, they're 2-0 right
Well,
now.
I'm taking BYU. I think they're a program that has been independent for a really long time, and so they thrive on going on the road and putting out a pretty good product. And I think Arkansas is starting to trend down with what the program is at the moment. So I'm gonna take a chance on BYU. All right, so our big rivalry game of the week, Pitt at West Virginia. Do you know where this game is? Is this actually in Morgantown, Scott, or is this at Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
Where the Steelers play? Well, like, I don't think it's at Pittsburgh because that's also where Pitt plays.
Right. I'm gonna go with gosh. I think this is kind of a toss-up game too. I think I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. I don't know, West Virginia. I don't know. I think they're struggling a little bit overall. I think they're 1-1 right now, but um I'm gonna go with
Yeah, they
Pitt.
lost at Pitt. Okay.
are they the navy blue and yellow?
Yeah, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And Pitt, depending on what their current color scheme is, they're a blue and yellow. Sometimes they're kind of more of a royal blue, and sometimes they're more of a navy blue and
They're
gold.
both navy and yellow.
West Virginia is navy and
Pitt kind of
and
changes
gold,
up
and
their
then
blue every
Pitt.
once in a while.
Yeah, Pitt sometimes is like a royal blue and yellow-ish gold, and sometimes they're navy blue, and it used to be called Vegas gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the gold helmets that.
What is their how have they done so far this year?
Pitt's record, they lost to Cincinnati 27-21 last week, and then beat Wofford 45-7 the week before. So they're 1-1, and yeah, West Virginia is 1-1. No, they're 2-0 right now.
No, they lost at West Virginia. Right? West Virginia lost at Penn State.
Oh yeah, they're 1-1. Also, yeah, they lost to Penn State. You're right.
They're both 1-1.
Yeah.
You guys are making this really hard here. I'm gonna go with West Virginia.
I'm also. Oh, excuse me. I'm also going to take West Virginia. Sorry to everybody who had listened to me yawn there. I got up at 2:30 this morning to catch the red eye from Dallas to Kansas City, so it's starting to catch up with me. Actually, the truth is, I woke up in the hotel room with my contacts still in and the light on in the room, and had trouble going back to sleep. But tired. All right.
Pretty poor excuse.
I know. So we're going to close it out with the service academies. First up, Army is on the road at University of Texas, San Antonio. What do you got, Scott?
I'm going with Army. I can't really go against Army just because they're a service academy, but they've had some decent wins the last few years too, and some decent teams. So I think they're 1-1, but I could be wrong. I need to know what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're 1-1. So I'm gonna go with Army
Sure.
on.
Okay.
Well, I feel like this week of all weeks we have to go with the armed services.
That's right.
I'll go with the Army.
I'm taking TSA. Not that I don't support the Army, but UTSA is looking pretty good. So
yeah,
they're the home team. I just think that they're going to beat Army. Navy at Memphis.
I cannot root against Navy on this one. I know the head coach personally. I worked with him here back in the day at Elon. Great guy, deserves that job. used to be the defensive coordinator there. I know he's still trying to turn that program around, but I really hope he does well there because him and his family deserve it. And, I got to go with Navy on this one.
Okay.
Do the coaches have to be in the Navy?
No.
Just players?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, the players are all cadets in the.
But not if the coach.
No.
Really?
No.
Oh. Whatever. Can I get some numbers, Scott? Please.
Yeah, I'm trying to look
Do
it
you
up.
have any numbers?
Yeah. Who are they playing? Memphis. Navy is 1-2 right now, and Memphis is 3-0.
I am gonna go with. Well, I just said what I did last time. I'm gonna go with Memphis. I think.
I also am going to take Memphis because
Wait
I believe this is the first year.
Hold on. When is that? That game was tonight.
Oh.
It's already over with.
Oh.
All right, well, we'll look it up. We'll look it up later.
Well,
And they won. Obviously.
I already looked it up, so
Well, I've
my
already
team
got
did not
written
win. So
down. I've already got written down. You chose Navy, and Allison and I chose Memphis.
that's
Who
funny. We
won?
didn't even know that
Memphis?
game. I did. That's funny. We didn't even know that game was
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, Memphis won 28-24.
Oh,
Navy
that
was
was
up.
a close one.
one.
It was 14-14 at half.
That's the first year that coach is there, right?
Where at Navy?
In Navy.
Yes, he was their defensive coordinator under the coach that got fired, and yeah, no, I'm telling you, he's a great dude. He deserves it, and I hope he gets it turned around. Brian Newberry is his name.
Okay. All right. In our last game, we got Utah State at Air Force.
Let me get some figures for you, Allison.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I know who I'm going for on this one without looking at it, but
you mean to tell me with the extreme advance notice I gave you to be on this podcast, you didn't do any of this research?
No. I barely had enough time to do some laundry and put a bra on, but here I
Utah
am.
State is 1-1. I don't know who they lost to, and Air Force is 2-0. So it looks like Air Force beat Robert Morris on the second, and then beat Sam Houston last week 13-3. And then Utah State, they lost to Iowa the first week 24-14, and then beat Idaho State last week 78-28. So I'm going with Air Force on this one. I almost worked there just like I almost worked at Navy. And I know people at Air Force I like the Air Force Academy in general. Plus, I think they've got a decent program right now. So I'm going with Air Force on this one.
I don't know. The SOB that you guys know in the Air Force kind of has me, wanting to vote the other way.
You mean the guy that
tried
to make a partner on this podcast and he bailed on us?
Yes.
Yeah.
He gave you yeah, here I am. This is how good I am, and now you can't have it anymore. Yeah. Sorry.
And
so you have a moral
on the podcast.
Yeah.
We're still talking about it. I'll go with Air Force. It sounds like they're doing pretty good.
I'm going to take Utah State.
No credit to that gentleman.
Watch,
they put up 78 points. They put up 78 points last week against Idaho State.
That's right. Prepare to get defeated the first time.
Shaking in my boots. Oh, I'm not wearing boots.
Your sandals.
Yep.
Nice. Any other topic we want to discuss before we get off here?
Well, I think I had an idea, and I don't think we really talk about it, but just introduce something we'll try maybe for the next episode is the Mount Rushmore of blank. It's something you and we've talked about this in the past.
I don't like this thing that you have going on with Mount Rushmore. I
Why?
don't get the reference. Nobody gets the reference
Okay,
to.
if you watch this and you get the reference to Mount Rushmore after you give me a chance to explain it and you understand what I'm saying, put something down in the comments and then subscribe.
Oh,
Smash that like button. So the idea here is people put out lists of who's the greatest whatever, and someone, quarterback in the NFL, who's on the Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks. And so they would say, Tom Brady and Joe Montana and
or like the top
Dan
20
Marino.
greatest hits album that you were talking about last week. The artist.
That's not related to this,
What
but
was the guy's name?
John Mellencamp.
Oh yeah, Mellencamp.
That's been our guest. That's been our guest for tonight. Allison, my future.
The Mount Rushmore of
future ex-wife.
singers.
But it'd just be a talking point about the Mount Rushmore of a particular topic.
Sounds
this week
good.
I ended up eating cheeseburgers at 4 different locations while I was in Dallas. It just the very first 2 of them just kind of worked out that way. And then it just became let's see where else I can get a cheeseburger from. So maybe we would talk about where's the best cheeseburger come from? What's your Mount Rushmore?
Need you to
not a great topic.
Mount Rushmore. Why? I think you need to consult Scott on this off air.
Basically, Allison's saying you need to change it from Mount Rushmore to the best of, or the best
of.
No,
I'm fine either way, Nate.
No.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
It's going to be called the Mount Rushmore.
Oh my God. Nobody's going to get that.
I will give it to Allison.
30 days.
But this is also why
that references the Mount Rushmore of something.
Yes, but this is also why the podcast is called what it is. Are we friends? Because we agree to be friends to disagree. But
we are not friends. We just happen to be married.
You love each other, but you don't always like each other. There you go. Just kidding. So yeah, we can agree to disagree with what we're going to call this, but we'll call it something for next week. So
the best of, aka the Mount Rushmore, or the Mount Rushmore of.
There you go. We just include both names. All right. Well, I think that's probably it for this week. Everybody, thanks for watching. Allison, do your finishing off here.
Oh, what do I say? Oh, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button.
Awesome. You heard her. Smash.
Not a slam dunk. What do they do in football? It's not a slam dunk. Oh, spike that subscribe button. There we go.
There you go. Good. I'll give you a high five.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the one and only time she's invited to be on this podcast.
Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.